Chapter 2600. It's the all-time worst half fade, half fro. Hey bruh, what happened? Did your barber keel over dead halfway through? Or did you remember after you were already in the chair for 20 minutes that you spent your barbershop money on that burger and fries yesterday, and you try to tell him you'll pay him later when you get more money, and he takes the cape off you like, cool, I'll finish you later when you get more money. I'm only asking because you look like a broke cartoon character. I'm only asking because you look like you lost an important bet. Haircut. I, and more than likely this entire universe, have ever seen. Which is to say, I have a lot of questions, and also I have an equal amount of jokes. And since I can't choose which to hit Xavier with first, I choose both. Xavier, you asked for that specific cut, or did you run out of money and the barber was like, welp, you just ran out of a cut too? Whatever, bro. No, seriously, man. Which number is that on the chart so I can ask for the same thing next time I hit up the shop? Wait, let me guess. It's number 1/2. I can barely get the joke out without busting out laughing. But I mean, if you were in my shoes staring at your homeboy and he had this haircut, yo, you'd have jokes for days. Plus, me and X always bust each other up. It's how we show love. I'd expect nothing less from him if I were out here looking like I only took half my head to the barber shop and was like, what happened to the other half of my head? Oh, it's just at home playing video games. Hey, you still gonna charge me for a full cut? Hardy har, very funny. Obviously, I was cutting my hair when the power went out, which definitely sucks. Now I gotta go around town looking like a super broke rapper. What, you didn't think to use scissors to at least trim the other side? I ask. What? No? Are you kidding me, bro? Shoot, the power went out, and you know how dark my house is even with power. So just imagine it without. Bro, it was pitch black country road dark in that bathroom. I dropped the clippers and dashed out of that house like the way you sprinted away from Tasha McKenzie when she asked you to be her boyfriend on Sweetest Day. Now it's Xavier's turn to crack up. And yeah, okay, it's kind of funny. I mean, he's right. I was up out, pumping my arms like I was trying out for the 40-yard dash. Whatever, man. I had to take off. You know Tasha runs track. I had to get a head start if I was going to get away. We both laugh until Xavier's face turns back serious. So, scissors for real, you think? He asks. And I see the wheels turning in his brain, and I know what he's thinking. Because he's one of my best friends, and we know each other. You know what I mean? Like, we've been through it all together. Summer camp last year, Boy Scouts. The Great Amazing Race. Away from Tasha McKenzie. Shoot, you name it, we've done it, side by side. True partners. That's what we are. So yeah, I see X's face, and reading his mind, I know what we gotta do. I slip into the kitchen and reemerge with a pair of scissors from the 6-month-old new knife set Mom and WBD got when they got married. Because nothing says eternal love quite like different sized knives sticking out of a wooden block. Am I right? But if X had even remotely considered finishing his haircut with scissors, that idea is completely out the window the second he sees them in my hand. He can't shake his lopsided head fast enough or backpedal quick enough. Clearly, he's going to pass on my scissors suggestion. I know this because he waves me off and says, nah, I'm going to pass on the scissors, bro. And you're definitely not touching my hair, shaky hand Stan. And I gasp because, not going to lie, I'm kind of offended. Do I sometimes tremble just a little bit? Okay, maybe a bit. But shaky hand Stan? First of all, it's a terrible insult. Not funny, but also kind of insensitive. But Eddie, weren't you equally insensitive, if not more so, when you kept going on and on and on about Xavier's haircut? To which I reply once more, whose side are you on here? Wait, how did you even know I was home and not at Beach Bash? X studies my face to see if I'm joking. You really don't know? Know what? I ask. He taps his phone and pulls up a saved screen recording. It's from the gram. It's the Bronster's latest post. It's a video clip of, no way, nuh-uh. Please tell me he didn't. And because X can also read my mind, he's all, yeah, man. He posted a video of him knocking some pretty gross looking laundry out of your hands. I scrolled down in horror. And he captioned it, #Eddie's grounded because he's a stinky kid? What the? It has 2,000 likes? How can this be? The Bronster has like 3 followers. Well, that's what I thought when I first saw it. But you gotta admit, he really stepped up his hashtag game on this post. X says, should I report it? Will the gram people take it down if I report it? But X is shaking his head. You can't. The site is down. Luckily, I managed to grab a copy for my own purposes. Okay, number 1, rude. Now I know my own friend is collecting receipts on me, but X is right. The last thing I want to do is let the Bronster know his stupid post bothered me, even in the slightest. I mean, really, dude? As if I didn't already have enough reasons to hate him, he's like, hey, here's a gas station to toss into that forest fire. Seriously, who would do that to another human, let alone to your own flesh and blood? Unfortunately, that's not even the worst part, X says, shaking his head like he wishes he didn't have to be the one to deliver the bad news. Check who he tagged. He flips to the next screen grab, and yep, this is most definitely rocketing straight up into the top 3 on my worst nightmares that I haven't actually had, but now that I'm thinking about it, this would be one list. He tagged, I swallow hard, the spit burning all the way down my throat. At Ava BXO, I recognize that username anywhere. Ava Bustamante. I shake my head. Okay, but maybe she didn't see it, right? I mean, she probably gets tagged in lots of stuff. She's one of the most popular girls we know. Plus she... X points a few rows down from the caption. Ava BXO. OMG, Eddie! I hope you don't pass out from your own laundry. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. X takes his phone from my stunned, and yes, okay, fine, my also shaky hands, and repockets it with a sympathetic shrug. Sorry, bro. I tried to text these to you, but my phone's acting funny, so... I pull mine out. It's down to 43% with 0 service. I've never seen it like this before. Even in the most countryest part of town, I still got a solid 3 bars. And I know it's a weird time to focus on my phone, but I can't help but wonder what else I'm missing while it's out of service. What if the power at the edge of the beach is fine, and my mom's trying to get a hold of me right now? Except my phone's going straight to voicemail. Even if she left a message, which she loves to do, even though I beg her to just text me because who talks on the phone anymore? Gross. I wouldn't be able to listen to it with no signal. Worse still, what if Ava is texting me and she's wondering why I'm not replying? What if she's getting frustrated with every passing second she didn't hear from me? And now she's angrily composing a breakup text like, lose my number, stinky boy. Even though, we're technically not dating at the moment. Or at any moment, technically. But still. Hey, Xavier grips my shoulder. You all right, man? I wag my head. Yeah, sorry. I just feel off. Like I've got this strange feeling that I can't explain. Xavier laughs. Uh-oh, here we go. I scoff. Here we go what? You and your strange feelings, that's what. I'm the one walking around like this and you've got strange feelings? No idea what you're talking about. No? Let me jog your memory, my friend. A couple of months ago, the ice cream truck guy, you thought he was casing people's houses so he could break into them and rob them blind. That he was using the old, friendly neighborhood ice cream truck person as his cover. Are you serious right now? I throw my hands up in disgust. He never had bomb pops or sundae cones or any of those fun superhero popsicles like Wolverine or Spider-Man for like 2 straight weeks. This dude came around every single day and he only ever had lemon freeze pops left. Talking about, sorry guys, but I sold out of everything today. But these lemon freezes are great. Which, first of all, no one likes lemon freezes. Lemon ices? Okay, I'll give you that. Not my first flavor choice. I'm more of a cherry or strawberry guy myself. But lemon is okay in a pinch. But also, really, bro? You selling out of all your ice cream every day? Well, then, you must be Ice Cream Truck Business Person of the Year because I've tried to sell things in this neighborhood before. This is not an easy place to move $1 chocolate bars. But what? All of a sudden, he's handing out $5 half melted ice cream sandwiches like they're going out of style? And hello, my dude. You ever think about carrying more ice cream then? Maybe expanding your inventory and in turn increasing your profit margin? I mean, if that's not highly suspicious, I don't know what is. Are you finished? I don't know. Mostly. Go ahead, get it out of your system. I'm just saying, lemon freezes? For real? There were exactly 0 break-ins reported. I shrug. Clearly, he knew I was on to him, so. Eddie, I love you, and I'm ridiculously sorry I brought it up. Mostly sorry to myself, but you gotta let it go, bro. I shrug, all out of ideas, and the sad realization that I'm probably gonna miss Beach Bash starts to wash over me. You know, just like those fun lake waves that I'm currently missing out on would've. Chapter 2700. Dude? Yeah, what's up? I get that it's like 800 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so I'm more so asking you out of personal concern for your comfort level, and less so because I'm feeling the slightest bit weirded out about seeing your nipples. Wait, what? I cut in. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with your nipples. That part is definitely more of a me problem than it is a you issue. His face twists in instant regret. Not that your nipples are a problem or an issue. I'm trying to say that I do a quick scan down at myself. Xavier clears his throat. So, about this outfit. I know you didn't get to go to Beach Bash, but why are you still dressed for a volleyball tournament? It dawns on me, and I refuse to meet his eyes, because here I am, home alone in a bathing suit. And by bathing suit, I mean swim trunks. Only swim trunks. And by swim trunks, I mean shorter than average swim trunks. As in, not anywhere near average length. Because Ava mentioned she loves my knees, so I just figured I'd be crazy to hide one of my best features, right? If you've got it, flaunt it, right? Eddie, in what conversational context would Ava Bustamante ever mention a fondness for your bony, ashy knees? First of all, they're sharp, not bony. 2, I'm not ashy, but Mom insists on buying the thickest lotion in the history of moisturizers because she insists we're a dry skin family, which I'm all, thanks for your concern, but speak for yourself. You don't speak for me. I've got my own skincare routine on lock. Know what I'm saying? And she's all, I'm so sorry, Eddie. You're right. I really should mind my own business, which is exactly what I'm gonna do, starting now, because Mom knows I don't play. Eddie, did you actually say any of those things to your mom, or are you exaggerating to impress us? I don't exaggerate, let's be clear. And was that an exact transcription of me and Mom's lotion conversation? It was definitely the spirit of our exchange, not that that's any of your business. So, point is, the absurdly thick lotion Mom continues to buy is virtually impossible to rub into your body, therefore giving me, and my not bony at all knees, the false appearance of super ashy skin, when in reality it's just the impenetrable, white-gray filmy residue left behind by Mom's awful skin blend lotion. Which, hello, can you say false advertising? How are they even allowed to call it blend when it's unblendable? When it only sits on the surface of your skin like oil atop water. That would be like me saying, I'm a professional long distance swimmer, but only in my bathtub. Plus, I've literally begged mom to buy a Smoke-Shin Potion Love Lotion, a brand scientifically engineered for people with my skin type. It says so in the commercials. Smoke-Shin Lotion, because you're smoking hot and you should smell like it too. And okay, yes, I possibly heard Ava mention she loves its smell. But so what? It's not a big deal. You really think I'd be campaigning for my hardworking mom to spend her hard earned funds on some overpriced watery lotion just because Ava Bustamante says it smells so good that if Gregory Loganham, one of the weirdest kids in our school, a kid who tucks his t shirts into his jeans, keeps a pet mouse named Claus in his front pocket, and never cleans his retainer, started wearing it, she'd probably have to go out with him? Ha! No way! And actually, it offends me that you all would even suggest such a thing. I start to retreat backward, which I realize is a mistake because I'm still facing X as I leave the room. How is this my life? I'll be right back. But with clothes on, right? Right back after you've put on real clothes is what you mean? Yep, that's the plan. I call over my shoulder, already halfway down the basement stairs. But, like, clothes that I can also see, yeah? He shouts from the front door, his voice louder but also muffled, like when you cup your hands around your mouth, except they're also partly covering your mouth. So while you're noticeably louder than when your mouth was hand cupless, it's now also harder to understand you, which nearly defeats the purpose of hand cupping. But hey, what do I know? I'm the guy who thought he had a shirt on. Chapter 2700 and half. Okay, you're thinking, Eddie, how could you not realize you're completely shirtless? Ugh, I know. It was an honest mistake, but this one's all on me. Guess I was so laser focused on my task, laundry, 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 because obviously it's the only thing keeping me from my ultimate goal, beach bash, that I wasn't exactly operating at peak brain function. But I'm back now, and I'm more self aware and self conscious than ever. Chapter 2800. In my quickness to retreat, I forgot I was headed back down into the darkness of the basement. But I have to handle this because Xavier is waiting upstairs with half his head shaved. I turn my phone flashlight back on and cautiously riffle through the heaps of still unwashed, still very dirty clothes. Except the pile's too massive and too precarious, aka it could topple over on me any minute. And I'm pretty sure the last thing I want is to be buried alive in my own dirty garments. People at my funeral. You know, they found him buried in a mountain of dirty laundry, right? What a way to go. Death by boxer briefs. Sheesh. Yep, I can see my tombstone now. Here lies Eddie, loving son, extremely patient brother, and better than average gamer. Eddie left this world under the weight of his own soiled laundry. His last few breaths were of his own sweat-tinged, tear-inducing stink. Eddie is survived by his favorite dirty jeans, his vintage Mighty Moat, best band ever, also dirty t-shirts, and his family. Eddie's last and dying wish was that we emphasize he'd still be with us today if his mom hadn't grounded him from Beach Bash. Not that he wants her to feel guilty. Okay, maybe a little guilty. Also, sup Ava, you looking cute. I give a few items the good old sniff test, but truth is, you can smell them from Jupiter. My bad, Jupiterians. Point is this. I was embarrassed to admit this earlier, but during that clothes avalanche scene with mom this morning, yeah, I nearly blew chunks. The smell was so bad. Which is weird, right? Because it's not as if they weren't in my closet the entire time. You'd think such a putrid smell would have been nauseating me weeks ago when the only barrier between it and me was a cheap faux, that's fancy for fake, wood closet door. It sucks. But at this point, I've gotten so used to it, I've practically developed an immunity against it. Kind of like how I deal with the Bronster. Obviously, the best case scenario would be the Bronster didn't exist, But since that's not in the cards, the next best thing is ignore, ignore, ignore. And yeah, not exactly a sophisticated plan, but it's gotten me this far. I've survived this long. Except now it was coming to bite me in the bottom. And no, not just nibble nibble release. No, we're talking a Sharkzilla, oops, looks like I swallowed you whole. Sorry, that's my bad, bite. Because it turns out that my amazing, perfectly crafted, once in a lifetime plan has now backfired on me twice. First, mom banning me from Beach Bash because of the laundry. And now, every single article of clothing I own is either filthy, wet, or locked in a washing machine with no power. I step back out of the basement in nothing but my swim trunks, waiting for X to notice. So that's a no on more clothes then? Bro, for real? You're really going to talk about me right now? Dude, you look like a confused porcupine. Well, gee, guys, do I push out all my quills or maybe just half? I say in my best porcupine-sounding voice. Your porcupine voice sucks, like really bad. I fold my arms across my chest. Whatever. Can't you see I'm in the middle of a laundry crisis here? The eyebrow on the fro of X's head slides upward. A single eyebrow raised like our favorite pro wrestler does. It's a move that X knows makes me wildly jealous because when it comes to movement, my eyebrows are apparently a package deal only. Your eyebrows are like couples ice skating. They only move together or not at all, X once said after a particularly painful session, whereby I kept attempting to force one brow up and asked him, "Did I do it?" for like 2 hours. It's a wonder he didn't run out of my house screaming. But nope, he just kept answering, "Not quite, man. Sorry. I guess that's why we're friends. We know how to handle each other." No clean clothes, I confess with a frown. None? Nothing? Not one sock? You got it. Well, what about borrowing something from your brother? Did you forget what happened the last time I borrowed just a pair of old socks? X nods. Oh, shoot. He filled your sheets with honey and then made back up your bed. I sniffed the air. That was 2 months ago, and 50% of everything still smells like honey. That was socks. If he comes back and sees me in his actual clothes, it'll be a beehive under my blankets next time. Fair, X says. And what about your stepdad's closet? Is that empty too? No way I'm going in there. He dresses like a total nerd. He looks like he's the host of a show entirely dedicated to grandfather clocks. That's a hard pass. Okay, well, what about your I cut him off. Don't do it. Don't even ask me about my mom. I'd rather stay in this and my flip-flops. What about your sneakers? Xavier suggests. Which makes sense, except they're a bit stinky and I don't have any clean socks. So if I wear them sockless, my feet are going to stink too. Xavier grins at me in that way he does when a joke is coming. Newsflash, my friend, you're too late. We walk outside, and I'm feeling super duper thankful that it's hot as I clenched hairy armpit today. Seriously, imagine if it were one of those out of nowhere summer days where it's suddenly 40 degrees in Cloud City. No way I could venture outside without freezing my thin, swim-trunked butt off. Moral of the story. Things could be infinitely worse, which in my experience is an attitude outlook that's great to have. No matter how bad things get, no matter how awful things turn, there are likely 100 other situations far more horrendous than yours. In fact, at that very moment you're feeling sorry for yourself, someone else is actually going through far more horrendous things. And so, in the immortal words of the most adventurous, most daring human I know, my Nana Charlie, better buck up, buckaroo. Still, I wish I had a clean t-shirt. Sigh. But okay, Nana, you win, as always. Let's go figure this thing out. Chapter 2900. We decide to take our bikes and scout the neighborhood. The way we see it, if we're both stuck at home without power, there's probably others, yeah? Plus, maybe we'd find someone with a working phone. And I'd be willing to bet that if I called my parents and explained the situation, that as much as I really, really wanted to finish my laundry, this whole deal was beyond my control now. The mighty electricity gods have spoken, and they have declared, "There will be no more juice for you." And since there's no way to know how long this power outage is going to last, I've heard of these things lasting for days, weeks. I mean, they'd have to cave and let me go to Beach Bash. Am I right? When it came down to it, even the most unreasonable person would make the right decision here and fold. Yeah? I can see it now. Me kicked back in my beach chair, minding my own biz, when Ava Bustamante appears out of nowhere and she's like, "Oh, wow, those swim trunks are nice, Eddie." But like, I know she really means my knees. And I just take a long sip of my triple berry tongue, slap your brain, stupid, silly, super slushy, and shrug like she's the 17th person to compliment my trunks. And then super casually, I say something cool like, "Cool, thanks." Flash her a smile, maybe ask her to join me at the volleyball court. Okay, but a guy can dream, right? Besides, anything's possible. Ava just needs to spend time with me and realize that maybe I'm not the coolest or smoothest or cutest or most athletic or smartest or tallest or fastest or most coordinated or, okay, you get the picture. But what I lack for in those categories, I more than make up for with my well, the point is, I just got to get there and whatever happens, happens. Oh, yeah, I can practically feel that cool lake breeze blowing across my face. And then I see Xavier wildly waving his hands, trying to get my attention. And then I realize that relaxing sea breeze that felt so very real, yeah, that's just him blowing on my face. Earth to Eddie, Earth to Eddie, are you there? Dude, you got spit in my eye, I say, taking a step back as I dramatically wipe wet air molecules from my face. What's the plan? Maybe we split up, Xavier suggests. You take north of Ellison Avenue, and I'll head south, and we'll meet back here in 30 minutes. I nod my head, and Xavier taps his Me Watch screen, checks the time. I set my own Me Watch timer. See you in 30, I say, already pedaling in the opposite direction. Hey, that's south, Xavier yells behind me. You're going north. And I throw my hand up in acknowledgement and hit a U-turn. I knew that, I tell him as we zoom past each other. Obviously, he agrees. Chapter 3000. Most kids in our hood live either on the street in front of our Ellison Ave cul-de-sac or on the street behind it, so it makes sense to start our split up and head in both directions. And duh, of course, Xavier opted to take the southern route. It's the logical move because, one, that's his part of our hood, his family lives in that direction, and two, maybe most importantly, no one knows these streets like X. But even more importantly, Xavier knows every single person in every single house. Honestly, he could have gone north too, because he probably knows my neighbors better than I do. I turn down Lois Lane, a street name that always makes me grin. Shout out to Superman. I speed up past the first two houses, both well known for their watchdogs. And although both are eerily super quiet, maybe the dogs went to Beach Bash too? Halfway down the block, I hit 343, the Lawrence twins' house, with a quick pedal by of their side yard. The Lawrence twins always stash their bikes behind a tall row of flowery shrubs. Yesterday, they asked me if I was taking my bike to Beach Bash because they'd convinced their mom to let them ride around the boardwalk. So if the bikes aren't there, then neither is Tori or Terry. That's okay, though, because I didn't really come this way to find the twins. They just happened to live next door to, you guessed it, Ava Bustamante. It's a long shot that she's home, but I push the doorbell anyway. How many times have I thought about this moment? Dreamed of walking up the stairs and standing on this porch, waiting for someone, hopefully her, to open the door. I don't know what it is, but it's always been hard for me to meet new people. It's not because I don't want to make new friends. I love people, but I guess I'm just nervous they won't love me back. I know what you're thinking. What's up? Because this definitely doesn't sound like the same confident, secure Eddie we've come to know and love. But I promise you, it's still me. I guess the thing is, it just takes me a little longer to feel comfortable enough with someone new to show them the real Eddie. Okay, I'm equally uncomfortable with opening up with people who aren't new too. Like Ava Bustamante. I've known her since her family moved to Carterville in second grade, and she slid into the only seat left in our class. Yep, right next to mine. Even then, when she sat down on her first day, looked across the aisle at me, and smiled, I struggled to even look her in the eye. Okay, to be real, I didn't look her in the eye. I kept my eyes as far away from hers as I could, pretending to admire the dirty orange tile floor until she finally looked away. So I've known Ava for nearly half my life, but as far as crushing on her, I'll tell you, it's a new thing. That has only been since the end of this past school year. But the actual truth, it started that day in second grade. I hear footsteps, and my heart speeds up. A few drops of sweat glide down my cheek. Between the sun and my own internal heat ramping up, another few minutes of this, and I'll be officially saturated. The footsteps grow louder, and now I'm shaking, buzzing with anticipation. What should I say? What if she's not only not surprised to see me, she's unhappy too? Dang, maybe I should leave. Maybe this was a mistake? But then I realize no one's coming to the door. Those footsteps? Yeah, false alarm. Those were coming from behind me. Could it be Ava coming back to her house just to see me standing at her front door? Nah. It's my best friend, Sonia, walking down the street with dead eyes, holding an unplugged video game controller, and she's chanting the same thing over and over again. Here comes the super sludge nightmare machine. Hope you're hungry. Here comes the super sludge nightmare machine. Hope you're hungry.